Robert, thank you so much. And now I want to return to the San Marco protest. Huge crowds turned out there last night for a very peaceful protest, despite rumors online that the protest would be violent. We saw all peace last night. On your sides, Leah Shields talked to some businesses to see how they responded.
It's back to business as usual in San Marco after thousands of people took to the streets last night in protest. Businesses in this strip mall boarded up their doors and windows as a precaution. But again, the protests stayed peaceful. They took down the boards this morning. As for the protests, you can expect them to continue. Ben Fraser, the president and founder of the Northside Coalition, says they're not going to stop until their demands are met.
The powers that be can either choose to earnestly negotiate with us in an honest dialogue, or they can choose to ignore us, to look the other way.
In San Marco, Leah Shields, First Coast News, on your side.